Good morning, all. Luis Miguel Lexa from BRIK Projects. Just playing a song while we waited there, getting myself sorted here. There's a song from a an Aussie artist, a young lady called Tash Sultana. That was the song Jungle, which put her into prominent a few years ago, around 10 years ago. She was busking in Melbourne trying to make her way in music, and today she's a great artist. That song through a YouTube video sort of sent her the to attention to the music world, and today she has some fantastic music. That was just a song that I personally have enjoyed since when she put it out. So I hope everybody enjoyed that song and got things going. Just seeing people who are in the room today. Sunny, thank you for joining us. We'll wait a few minutes, allow people to join us that if they're coming from other spaces and what have you. Look, in terms of, before we start with the formalities, without being too formal, I always like to sort of reflect on the week in terms of sort of just to give time for people to come in. Probably first thing, actually quite topical because Sunny is actually listening. I do appreciate the article that of our sit down in terms of our chat. In terms of what we're doing, tokenizing real estate here in Australia. So WagMe NFT, or the platform that Sunny co-founded, they publish articles on their community, about their community, and a community that's fantastic what she does, Sunny and Sachrome, in helping especially new artists coming in to mint their work as NFTs and specifically on the Ravencoin blockchain. And so they've done an article, so it's up there. We'll put the link to this tweet, to this space afterwards. But really appreciate, Sunny, for you to put up the article about what we're doing here in tokenizing real estate. Much appreciated. In terms of this week, it's probably just a few things that have been happening. Obviously, we've had a head down. We got the launch of the BRIKdolphin property coming on the 24th of October Australian time, but 23rd of October US Europe time. So we've been working hard with DigiShares to making sure everything stays on the timeline for the launch. Everything's progressing well. We've got some things that we're going to be talking about today. Some things that I've sort of dropped hints in the video that we put up yesterday promoting today's BRIK Q&A. So hope people picked up on some of those hints as to what I'm going to be talking about today around the dolphin property specifically. We'll cover that on. In terms of some things been happening, Mrs. BRIK and I went out to the basketball on Sunday afternoon. A great outing for us too at the basketball, chilling out. No, we had a loss. The season only started 4 weeks ago. We've had 4 games and we lost 4 games. So we live in hope, but again, it's not about the winning. It's about the journey, and we do enjoy our basketball. It was actually 30 years to the year that Melinda and I, when we went to our first basketball game here in Brisbane, where we had quite a successful team back then, quite a memorable team back in those days, and that was actually the last basketball she went to, and it was quite fitting that we went to this basketball game, and because we know the guys there, the CEO and so forth, and but that was a great afternoon at the basketball. I did feel for the head coach, JD. He's a proud Canadian, former player himself. He's a young coach, and I do personally know him. I was on a message with him yesterday just to assure him that he's got to, as with business, you've got to follow the process. You've got to stay to your core fundamentals. And so I just sort of sent him a message of making sure that keeps his head up and to trust in his process that he's going through. He's a great guy, JD. So it was an enjoyable time at the basketball. Thanks, LSJ, for joining. I could just see you popped into the room. Thank you so much, sir. It's some exciting things have been happening around the Ravencoin community too. Some new artists have been coming in. So we've been keeping it loud on some new artists and some new artwork that's been popping up. We buy artwork for our properties, so we've been accumulating some more pieces. Artists from Indonesia, and throughout the world for that matter. So it's great to see that. Always a lookout for some great artwork pieces. I did like the post by Dow. Dow actually from Community Dow. He put up his pictures of his dogs, Bear, Wolf, and Copperson, his 3 dogs that he's had in his time. So it was great to see. We do have our dog April. She's our family dog. So it was great to see those beautiful animals as they are. And shout out to Dow. Really enjoy that. What else has been happening? Oh, the Raven Coin Global Awards also are on, which I'll mention some details at the end. But again, the voting's been going on. The nominations have been going on. I think you, Sonny, I've seen you on one of those nominations as well. So again, we've been involved in voting for the people that it's always hard. It's like, who do you vote for? Because there's so many people within each category that you can only have one vote. So it's quite hard to narrow down just to one person or one project. So we've done our best, and so good luck to everybody who's been nominated for the awards, the Ravencoin Global Awards. That's been hosted by C3 Media and Blockchain John. But yeah, look, it's probably just finally, before we start get into the formalities, sort of like to also to remind people that there was a video I watched during the week that Blockchain John from C3 Media done with, I think it was around 12 months, probably just over 12 months ago, with a gentleman called Blockchain Tiger, Joshua, from South Korea. He's been heavily involved with Ravencoin blockchain for a long time, since the beginnings. And he's actually the one who created Braveland. And probably just to make a point in terms of his great contribution, that he funds that Braveland. So obviously the Braveland Metaverse is hosted on a server, and he actually pays for all those costs. So he created and pays for all those costs to do with Braveland. So in terms of hosting, so I think it costs around $65,000 a year. But actually that money comes out of his pocket, that he personally funds to provide that metaverse environment for anybody to go in, and it's free. That you just have to download that software, which obviously we've had events there. The Ravencoin blockchain, we as a community, we have our first Saturday of the month event there as well. So as a to make people aware what's happening in terms of in all. So again, so it's a great space. But just to make that point, that blockchain Tiger Joshua, he funds that Braveland. So just to make it very clear, because I think there's a misconception that the Ravencoin Foundation is actually funding that Braveland, and making it very clear it's not. That's all been Braveland's funded by Blockchain Tiger Joshua out of his own pocket. Hey, hello Miner, how are you? See you just popped in. Hope you're well. Look, so we'll just general chit chat, just sort of reflecting on the week. But we'll get stuck into the formalities today. Again, I'm Luis Miguel Alexo. I'm the co-founder and managing director of BRIK Projects. My other co-founder, Mrs. BRIK, Melinda Alexo. So we tokenize real estate properties here in Australia, the luxury kind. So I'll probably just briefly, just a bit about me. I'm a CPA accountant by background, by training. Have been involved personally as a family in property development in terms of new builds and renovations for 30 years. So been doing property longer than I've been an accountant. So an accountant around 28 years and property around 30 years. So my co-founder and I have always been involved in the property, driving property in terms of our families. So that's all very comes very much second nature to us in terms of what we've been doing. But in terms of BRIK projects, we launched our first property earlier this year, the Koala property here in Brisbane. So BRIK projects is about focusing in 3 specific geographical areas in terms of where we're tokenizing the luxury real estate properties. So Brisbane, Gold Coast and the Sunshine Coast. So we got our Dolphin, which is our second property, but the second property that we're launching on the Gold Coast, the BRIKdolphin property, is going to be on the Ravencoin blockchain. So we're launching that on the 24th of October, Australian time. So we're looking forward to that. So again, we'll continue. So our vision is to tokenise in terms of the first year was 11 properties, second year 20 properties, and tokenising 20 properties each year after that. So that's our vision. And the core vision is about providing access to real estate property to anyone from anywhere in the world. So all you need is a mobile phone, and basically you should be able to have access to, as long as you've got internet, you should be able to access the tokenized real estate property tokens that we put up. But yeah, so simply, I mean, the frustrations of traditional real estate brought us in terms of tokenizing real estate when I started going deep, probably just almost 3 years ago, as to how blockchain could solve the problem around token and around traditional real estate, where we don't want banks involved in the mix. Banks cause headaches. So again, it was a matter to create a solution that anybody can access real estate. It doesn't matter who they are and where they are from, because there's a lot of challenges both in the Western world as well as developing countries. Everybody's got their own challenges in terms of accessing real estate. So we want to provide a solution that basically you could just buy one token in a property or many tokens in a property, and you can buy and sell and having that flexibility from a liquidity perspective. So just basically, it's traditional property, but on the blockchain where there's no banks involved. So being on the blockchain, public ledger, anybody can see what's on the ledger, and basically that provides that transparency. So it's just like going into a partnership in traditional real estate with for other people, but now you basically go into partnership with potentially 39,000 other people on the blockchain, that everybody's going to enjoy the benefits of that particular property. But yeah, look, and today's topic around BRIK Q&A the BRIK Q&A, we have this every week, same time, same place. But today's topic, we're going to focus on the BRIKdolphin property token series. But before we do, in terms of we launched a koala property in Brisbane, which earlier this year, so people can still buy tokens in the BRIK koala property. So that's so people can go in and the platform and buy that. We're actually exploring at the moment with Real Estate Exchange about listing on the secondary market the koalas, so we can actually sort of fast track the sales of those initial tokens. So we're in deep discussions at the moment with Mark Danker from Real Estate Exchange, which is a sister company of DigiShares. So at the moment we're exploring that. They're about to launch themselves, so they haven't actually launched yet. So Real Estate Exchange is a secondary market for property tokens, real estate, tokenized real estate, and tokenized assets in general, but obviously with a focus on real estate. So they're looking at launching in Q4 this year. So we'd like to think that we could be one of their first projects with the koala properties to go on their platform. So again, we did discussions and we're sort of hoping with the objective that that'll fast track the koala token series. So that's just a little bit sort of an update on the koala token series. So that's available now. Everybody can go in there and buy the koala tokens through our platform. With the dolphin, some new developments. So as I said, the BRIKdolphin property token series launches on 24th of October, Australia time. We've in deep discussions and planning it out, and over the last few months with DigiShares, our service provider, who created and maintain our BRIKBC property tokens platform. So we've been sort of exploring in terms of always trying to improve in terms of what we have and what we do. And one of those things that we discuss, as a lot of people know, I'm always trying to balance between making it easy for mainstream, but also accommodating the making sure that people that do come in that it's easy to get in into as if they're just using a website, but also accommodating at the same time people who've been in it for a long time who like to have things in terms of their own wallets to hold their tokens. So again, with our discussions with DigiShares, was trying to come up with a balance around that accommodated mainstream coming in, and also people who are experienced in blockchain projects. So just trying to create that balance. And so what we've actually decided is actually to be able to offer people, because it's going to be on the Ravencoin blockchain, gas fees is non-existent, so that people don't have to worry about that. And so what we're going to actually allow people to do is actually take those property tokens, the BRIKdolphin tokens, away to their own decentralized wallet. So for some of you who saw the video in terms of promoting today's BRIK Q&A, you might have seen some pictures of Mango Farm wallets and the Ravencoin core wallets, obviously both being decentralized wallets. That was actually hinting that in terms of we adding that additional functionality in terms of people, once they buy the BRIKdolphin tokens, they got the option to take it to their own wallet. So basically, when people subscribe on the platform, or they're already on a platform, they'll be able to add their Ravencoin wallet, decentralized wallet. There's many out there. I mean, two of our favorite ones that we do use ourselves is the Mango Farm wallet and the Ravencoin core wallet. So they're two decentralized wallets, and obviously both asset aware wallets. So that's important. They have to be asset aware, because when you do take it away, you want to make sure that's the wallet recognizes. So we will sort of provide some guidance to people, and to people who are coming in for the first time to Ravencoin block, and also mainstream, they're coming in for the first time. If they did want to have it decentralized wallet, we give them some guidance around which ones that we recommend. And then people that don't want to, basically people that want to still have us as custodians, they can still put their, they'll be provided with a algorithm wallet within our environment, our platform, and they'll be able to have that where they're holding it in their, we're custodying their tokens within their wallet in our system. So what it means that basically all transactions, or all BRIKdolphin property tokens will be seen on the Ravencoin scanner. So when the people go on the blockchain, see the public register for the Ravencoin blockchain, they'll be able to see the movements in regards to the BRIKdolphin property token, both whether they're centralized or decentralized. They'll be able to see those movements on chain as a result of that. So we're giving that people the option. Probably without getting sort of too technical about things, is that when people still have to. So if you've taken so you bought a BRIKdolphin token, you've decided to take that to your own decentralized wallet. So it's sitting in your, for example, your Mango Farm wallet. If you did want to sell that BRIKdolphin token, you still got to come through our platform, because at the end of the day, because people have to KYC and AML. So if you try to transfer or sell that token outside the environment, it just won't recognize it. So basically, you still have to come through the platform. So people want to buy it, they've got to first register KYC AML. So we still need to do that for everybody when they register on our platform. So people can take it away, can store in your own decentralized wallet. But basically making sure that the people you are selling to still have to be subscribers on our platform. And that's the beauty about blockchain and the code behind it, is that it's able to recognize as to whether somebody's been whitelisted or not in terms of being done a subscription on our platform. So again, they're sort of without getting too technical about things, but the bottom line is basically people now will be able to take their BRIKdolphin tokens to their own decentralized wallet. So hope everybody sort of enjoys that feature. Again, we're trying to balance here between mainstream and people who've been around for a long time. So just creating that balance around that, making sure it's easy, but making sure people feel more comfortable with a decentralized wallet. That's fantastic, fantastic as well. So that's sort of that is a major piece. I think one of the things I wanted to mention today, in terms of what we're doing with the BRIKdolphin token, which we were a bit restricted before, given the Koala property was obviously Ethereum chain, and without sort of boring you in terms of the details that went on, why we moved on to Ravencoin, but the large part of it, why we decided to look at an alternative chain to Ethereum, and moved to the Raven coin, that started because of such a high gas fees. And where we are today in terms of the Raven coin is where we're going to be tokenizing the BRIKdolphin. All future properties we tokenize will be on the Raven coin blockchain. But yeah, look, in terms of probably another second thing to mention as well, we've got again, I'm always a big believer you've got to keep improving in terms of what you have, because that's how you develop, that's how you get better in terms of what you do. And one of the things we've done with the token holders perspective, the investor platform perspective, we've actually done a bit of a revamp. So DigiShares have done a bit of a revamp to make it look a bit more attractive, easy on the eye, and again, it's one of those things you keep improving. So we'll be letting people know in terms of the new platform, which basically people will see that's a new feel for it, a bit more easy on the eye, and hope people enjoy the new look of from an investor perspective. So we'll be sending some stuff over the next week or so in relation to that. So keep an eye on the emails and for our existing token holders as to what we're doing there. But I hope you enjoy the new look of how you see your account. So I'll keep everybody updated on that. Also, probably thirdly and lastly is we continue to explore different payment options. So at the moment we're looking at at the moment you'll be using USDC as they have been so far, USDC to pay for the tokens. We're actually at the moment we're exploring a DEX that people can actually swap in for their when they buy a BRIKdolphin, for example. They'll be able to use a DEX to be able to swap their Raven coin or any crypto for that matter for a BRIKdolphin token. So at the moment we're exploring a DEX that can actually provide us with that functionality. Obviously we're exploring that with DigiShares. DigiShares at the moment they do that for the Ethereum, which it's something that we're going to be adding that to the Koala series in terms of people that again just Koala sort of a different environment, but with the Raven coin, with the BRIKdolphin, we're exploring the DEX to give us that functionality, and also looking at a merchant that provides the facilities that people can use to pay for the BRIKdolphins and the Koalas through a merch. So we haven't quite found the right one yet. They're all very costly when it comes to what we're trying to achieve, to keep costs low for the holders and the buyers, as well as keep costs low for us. So at the moment we're keep exploring a couple of weeks. We've got two on the table at the moment that we're exploring with, and hopefully they'll provide us with the solution that we're looking for. Again, for us it's about providing as many options as we can for token holders to buy the tokens, to make things easy as we move forward. So again, always trying to improve what we've got and keep adding those bells and whistles as we go along to make it more attractive for people and easy for people as we move on. So there are the sort of three major areas that I'd like to focus on for today in relation to the Dolphin. As I said, we're very excited about the Dolphin, and hopefully people get behind it and support it. And again, we realise we're early in terms of what we do in tokenising real estate, but again, this is the opportunity for people to get in early and get on board and be able to get on the journey with us in terms of what we're doing for the long term. So that's the Dolphin property. Just seeing if there's anything I need to cover from that perspective there. And again, I'll open up for a Q&A. Open up the mics. Please join us if you'd like to grab the mic. Please ask, and I'll give you the mic to ask any questions. That's some of the activities that have been happening. As I said, we're working hard and hopefully that everything falls in line, which no doubt we will by the next week. Next be Monday next Monday here in Australia, which will be Sunday in the US and Europe. Just seeing some of the messages coming across. That's all right, LSJ. LSJ sent me a message. Just reading LSJ's message. You can't talk, so I'm just reading the message and the DMs from LSJ. So bear with me for a sec. But yep, yeah, that's good. I'm just making sure I wasn't supposed to reply to something on the DMs to LSJ. Thanks, LSJ. Yeah, so it's some great activities here, and again, DigiShares themselves are always obviously looking to improve, and they're always looking for different elements of the environment to keep improving. Which again, as I said. They are the global leaders when it comes to tokenized real estate and providing that in terms of the platform on the blockchain, the actual creating the platform for businesses like ours, as well as maintaining it as well. So so we do thank them. Look, in terms of look, if there's any questions, Sunny, if you've got any questions, as I said, we do thank you, Sunny, for putting the article on us on WAGMI NFT on the platform that Sunny and Chrome co-founded together in helping artists. So we do appreciate for that article that you put up about what we're doing here in tokenizing real estate. Some great questions, and just adding Sunny to the conversation. Hello, Sunny. How are you?
Hey, BRIK. Thank you for putting space.
No, thank you. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, I just want to thank you for putting on the space, and just to let you know, too, yeah, we got a lot of hits on your, your article, and it's really nice that you provided a lot of information because, I like to put as much in there as possible. We find that people are staying on the site, and so
that's great.
I put up one on the Raven wall too, and yeah, so
no, thank you.
Want to thank you for that.
No, thank you so much for your support and Sacrane's support on it. So again, hope wasn't too long the answers, but hope that sort of gave people in terms of understanding that what we're doing and why we're doing it. Yeah. That's great. Thank you, Sunny. Look, in terms of if there's no questions, any questions, Sunny?
No. I'm just thank you for outlining everything and the new options and everything. That's just awesome. Yeah. Thank you. No questions.
No, pleasure. Yeah, it's that balance, like I said, as I said all along. For us, it's trying to make it easy for mainstream, but at the same time balancing people that have been around blockchain projects and for a while as well. So just that balance. Hopefully that'll additional options gives people that ability to basically hold their own custodian, their own tokens going forward, which we're excited about. That's great. If there's no questions, I also like to thank Evra. Thank you for joining. I just saw you pop in. Sometimes when I got my head down looking at my notes and trying to keep up what's happening on the messages, you sort of miss who comes in. So Evra, I really appreciate you coming in and joining us live. And the space is recorded, obviously. We do put up the space both on YouTube as well as Spotify. So we like to spread it around. In terms of people got different ways of listening to things, so I hope that sort of helps in those different areas that where we put up the recording on. Look at if there's no other questions, probably start the wrap up. Just making sure that I haven't missed anything here. As I said, there is the awards going on. So probably just to touch on the awards, the Ravencoin Global Awards. It's on the 29th of October at 3 p.m. US Eastern Standard Time. I always like to quote everything as a central reference point. Sometimes people think I'm actually based in the US because I keep referring to the US Eastern Standard Time only because it's so much easier to have just one point of reference, whether that's a location from a time zone perspective as well as from a currency perspective. I always use US dollars as a central central point of currency reference. So, but I actually had some people ask if I was based in the US. I think so. I think asked me if I was based in New York. I said no. I do enjoy New York. I do want to spend some time in New York. But at the moment, yeah, no, I'm based in Brisbane. So, but yeah, no, the RavenCon Global Awards, yeah, as I said, 29th of October at 3 p.m. US Eastern Standard Time. So there's been some voting going on. So that's been hosted by C3 Media through Blockchain John. So we'll put up some details on this feed as well, so people know exactly when it's on. Again, there's been the votes, there've been nominations and votes been going on. I think you, son, you've been up there as nominated in those awards. So it was great to see you there. You've been a great supporter, and I've actually been saying when I describe you, son, you bleed Ravencoin. So it was only appropriate that you were actually up there nominated. So congratulations on the nomination as well for that. And LSJ, I think you've been nominated as well there, I believe, from memory. Anyway, LSJ, you are our go-to man in terms of all things blockchain, the nitty-gritties of the Ravencoin blockchain. You are our go-to man. So you have been nominated, I believe, because I saw you on the nominations. And yeah, good luck to everybody who've been nominated. And as I said, the awards are on. Hey, Sonny, are you one of the hosts for the awards?
Well, Blockchain John sent me a DM, but the thing is though, is that about WAGME, and one of the polls on there was who's the best artist, and I just don't want to, that's just I hope that's not going to be on there. That's what I asked Blockchain John I just don't want to get involved in any controversy, especially because of WAGME and everything. We want to be inclusive, not exclusive. We want to be inclusive.
Well, Sonny,
especially for a poll that's like saying what is best color,
Yeah.
But that was the only one that I kind of said I don't want to. I hope it's. I just wasn't sure what it's about. But yeah, he reached out to me. I'd be happy to help out.
I've actually said to Blockchain John that Sonny would be the ideal, because it'd be nice to have. I think John's trying to have two hosts just to share the load. And I've actually said to him, Sonny would be the ideal person to host as one of the hosts. Because she bleeds.
It seems like he's not doing it, though. He implied that he needed another host.
Well,
so I guess I'm just confused about what... I just don't want to... That was just the one question that I just because of WAGME and everything, and also just for my own personal... that was the only... Not to like harp on it, but yeah.
I said to John, I said actually, look, I'm being so honest here, because I said to John, I said Sonny bleeds Ravencoin. I said she'd be the one. She'd be a great host. That she's been around. She knows.
Yeah.
And she bleeds.
I do know all the little nuances. I know it's funny because it's a unique project, and it's fun to know all the little nuances of the people and the projects, and it's really interesting. It's really fun to be a part of. It's like a friend of mine's a movie producer, and I said, I'm sure there's going to be some kind of documentaries, movies made about these, because on Bitcoin they didn't really know too much about, but with these other blockchains, there's a whole, Twitter, they can get all sorts of resources. So I'm sure my girlfriend said she was the producer on the movie Beautiful Mind, and she said there's already people working on it on these. Yeah.
Wow.
That's so some of them we've already seen, like the some of the things on Netflix and whatnot. But I'm talking about like the whole movement about what's happening. It's just really cool. Yeah, and Ravencoin is its own. There's so many just quirky, interesting personalities. Like really never a dull moment.
No, such variety but in terms such variety, but also at the same time such a warm community as well. And I think that's one of the key things about the Ravencoin community, just the warmth about everybody. So Sonny, so I take it that's a yes, you are hosting?
Well, I don't know. First I want to make sure that I just don't want to get wrapped up in anything else controversial, especially a couple of things that I've done. I know that were controversial. I just don't want to. I just want to ask a couple of questions before I get, because maybe there's a reason why no one else wants to host it. Why isn't he hosting it? Isn't Cryptolissa involved in that?
Yeah, I think
she has me blocked on Twitter, so I can't even like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I'll be happy to help out though.
Well, I did say to John, look, I've just got so much going on. I mean, obviously it's summer at that. I mean, the reason John's not hosting is because he's trying to provide the live streams in the background, trying to make sure everything's in control. Anything's a bit too much for him to host, and And I'd love to see you host, Sonny. You got my vote.
Yeah.
I'd love to see you host.
Well, I sent him a DM, so maybe if he gets back to me, then I'll. I don't mean to be like a hardliner about that kind of thing, but it's just especially because BRIK is about, even though it's going to be a lot more than about art, but right now it's mostly the artists who are kind of making the website move. So anyway, but okay, so that sounds good.
Have a chat with John, but I'd love to see you host, because I think there's no other person that, in terms of given how involved you have been and supportive, and you bleed Ravencoin, I couldn't think of anybody else.
Except for you. How about you?
Hey? Well, actually, just between us, I said to John, look, if you get into trouble, do me, sort of put me up as a backup. If for some reason you can't find anybody, even though I'm so busy with obviously trying to launch the Dolphin property series, I said to him, look, put me down, but just as a last resort, I like to sort of, if somebody else wants to host, but I've got, he's got me as a backup. If all fails, he's got me to fall back to as a second person.
Anyway, but
that's good. No.
Alrighty.
Love to see you, man. Love to see you host. Well, talking about Braveland, because that's obviously going to be at Braveland, the awards. The Ravencoin community also has every Friday. There's a community event that's held at Braveland. So it's Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, that's hosted by C3 Media, Blockchain John. So that's on it provides people awareness in a sort of an hour format. People can have their say what's going on, and be obviously any sort of projects. So that's a great event every Friday, hosted by C3 Media. So join there. And lastly, we've got our show tomorrow, our What is Real Estate Tokenization, that I co-host with Jake Menard. So tomorrow is going to be all about marketing. How do we bring mainstream to the blockchain, all things blockchain, and what's happening in the new frontier of blockchain opportunities. So tomorrow we've actually got two special guests. They are marketing gurus in their own right. We've got Megan from SDM Markets, sometimes called Sally, but Megan will be, obviously she's head of marketing at SDM Markets. So she actually has got a marketing training background, and obviously she's head of marketing there. So we're going to be picking her brains in terms of bringing mainstream. What are the key things that everybody should look for, whether you got a project or whether you're planning on projects. What are some of those things that have worked for Megan and what she sees and what they've planned? And again, how do we actually bring mainstream to make people aware of the opportunities in the new frontier? Also, the second person, we've got Paul Dobson. So Paul Dobson is heavily involved in the Ravencoin community himself. He actually is a lecturer at a university in England. He's lectures marketing in all social media, from a social media perspective, in all aspects perspective, in terms of when it comes to marketing. So we're quite fortunate also to have Paul provide us his experiences, what he's seeing, and and obviously some things that he's lecturing on. He's also head of marketing for Renewablocks as well. So again, he is also involved in a project himself, and I think a few other things that he's also consults to. So we're quite fortunate tomorrow. That's Wednesday, 4 p.m. US Eastern Standard Time. So we've got what it is, real estate tokenization with a marketing blend tomorrow. So looking forward to having our two special guests, Megan and Paul, to pick their brains and put them under the microscope for them to share their wisdoms with us. So that's on tomorrow. Well, I think that's pretty much all I've got for today. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Sunny, LSJ, Everett. Thank you for joining us live, and Humble, who was here before as well. And Fatal Frames yet to go. So really appreciate everybody joined live. And same time, same place next week. Enjoy your day, your evening, depending what part of the world you're at. And hopefully everybody has a great rest of the day. So take care, stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Bye for now.